Still have so much energy to keep on watching these sets. High octane matches that we're going to see. We got Pharaoh versus Mr. E immediately to start off the rest of this bracket, the rest of this top 8. How do you feel about this match? How you know, this is going to be very, very action-packed, but how do you feel personally?
How do I feel? Okay, so here's the thing. Honestly, we saw earlier in Pharaoh versus Joshin, the one thing that Yoshi struggles with in certain matchups is being forced to approach, having characters having, oh my god, the set just started. This guy's a bad person. Go back to Texas, dog. Go back to California.
Yeah.
Get out of my state.
Back to CECC.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted by this toxic player. Let me stop. Okay, as we saw earlier, right? The one thing Yoshi really struggles with is having a character that has tools to swat him out of the air so he can't jump in. We saw with Rob, it was projectiles. With Lucina, it's going to be her huge disjoints on her fadeaway aerials, right? The nair, the forward, the up air we're seeing right now. Pharaoh's going to have to earn those approach options.
Yeah.
And Mr. E's, like we saw right now, he's not going to make it easy.
Not
so
at
if you
all.
find openings in Pharaoh, like right there, you got to make them count.
Yeah, you got to find more as well.
That
You
was
gotta
so, why did he footstool him, bro? That was so crazy. Why did he do that?
Yeah, you got to try.
That's toxic.
You got to try and make your own opportunities. Kind of rise as well. It's really tough when Mr. E is just maintaining stage control. Being able to send out, like you mentioned, these disjointed aerials to just continue pressuring, really a forward air spike into the up smash. Not much coming out right there from Pharaoh. Definitely needs to find this stock soon. Able to catch that roll with that back air. Pharaoh looking pretty solid so far, but still down a stock.
Yeah, 160, we're reporting on Max right here, looking to find any kind of opening right now. Mr. E with the lead, a very substantial lead at that. Absolutely no reason to approach right now. Just playing around those platforms and throwing out this joints, saying, all right, Yoshi, gonna jump out of that egg? I'm not gonna approach, just throw out a couple aerials, boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom. You gonna jump out of there? I'll just swat you out of the air. Gonna find that, but Pharaoh doing the exact same thing. Down a whole stock, like we saw earlier, definitely has the gumption to find it. Be able to find like a SWAT option, kind of catch. Mr. E getting over aggressive. You can find some really good damage. It's just those singular hits just do not come by frequently.
Yeah.
So you gotta make them count when it happens. And when you go down in a set like this, Mr. E just has so much more momentum to make it the difference over you.
Quad up air as well, just to deal a little bit more damage. It seems as if even though Pharaoh wants to kind of drift back and try to avoid anything Mr. E sends out, these forward airs, these aerials will just reach no matter what. So Pharaoh definitely needs to be a little bit more careful with how he lands against Mr. E, especially landing some hits, because he's in desperate need of some right now. Gets hit with the forward air, no jump, by the way.
That's it, yeah.
Yep. Really good edge guard right there. Really good awareness from Mr. E, understanding that not a lot of tools left for Pharaoh to come back, and even if he air dodged, he could have just empty hopped and then gone for a back air. So very, very good stuff from Mr. E to take that first game. But I mean, that footstool that we saw earlier.
Yeah, honestly, Mr. E playing the matchup fantastically right now. Recognize, okay, Yoshi as a character is really strong when he can jump in.
Yeah.
He has to jump in to find all of his momentum. So what do you do as a character? Oh, that's easy. Just don't let him jump in. So how do I do that? My forward air, my nair, and that back air, especially offstage, sending him such a precarious angle over and over again, makes it so Mr. E has you constantly in the blender and makes it so much tougher for you to get any damage start because you're always at a deficit. And that's why you find those hits, you gotta make them count and find so much damage. Unfortunately, Pharaoh isn't finding that much, all that momentum that he needs.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like he slowed down his gameplay. Maybe losing the Joshin did something to him. Who knows?
Wow.
But he's definitely got to...
Yo, chill.
Sorry, man.
It broke him. That's no longer a man anymore. That's not Pharaoh. That's the prince.
The Prince of Egypt.
Haha. Yeah. We're bringing this to FD. How do you feel about FD here?
Really good F smash right there. But, I mean, FD is solid for, I think, Mr. E, because these... I mean, you can definitely shark with these platforms, but I feel like with the range that you have with these aerials, you definitely have Pharaoh in a bit of a loop, especially not having a lot of options to escape without any platforms, right? So now you're forced to jump, now you're forced to run away, maybe force Mr. E to overextend. He's just not doing that. He's playing super patiently, super passive against Pharaoh. It just seems like he doesn't have an answer as he's about to lap in stocks right now.
Yeah, Pharaoh, I feel like is going for a lot of those errant options, like trying to find anything that break through, like, you know, just try until it works out eventually. Gonna find that egg toss, and that's gonna be the one there. That's what I was gonna say. He's gonna find the mix-up options. Gonna find where Mr. E is going to aggress first and take advantage right there.
Yeah.
Now, when you have him in the ropes, you gotta take advantage now. Gonna find as much damage as you possibly can. Catch him getting over aggressive. First, you're gonna hit with the tail end of that dancing blade.
Oh.
But now we're seeing Mr. E trying to getting overextending here with these aerials. Pharaoh needs to take advantage and punish him for doing so. Unfortunately, you overshoot a little bit, and Mr. E gonna find that F smash and take him down.
It just seems so difficult for Pharaoh to try and land on Mr. E, whether it be above, whether it be in front. Mr. E is just there waiting with an aerial, with the tilt, even a forward smash. You saw Pharaoh try to land with that air dodge. Just Mr. E on one step ahead against Pharaoh right now, but the forward air puts him back into this match.
So you know how you deal with someone's once, you know how you deal with them?
What?
You duck around and you find a corner and you get around them like that. That's exactly what he did there with that forward air. Pharaoh needs that explosiveness factor up to 11. Right? Unfortunately, the end of the stock is looking pretty dire right now, but a lot of rage on this Yoshi. You see what Yoshi can do with rage. If you find an air hit here, something like a quad up or something of the sort, get back into this game. But that means like Yoshi recovery kind of gives it up to Lucina on a silver platter. Mr. E already up 2-0 in the set. Not that much sweat off his back. And I feel like Pharaoh is kind of putting the dust connector here. Like he has like those moments of brilliance, like with the egg toss at the ledge there, the catching him popping up. He has the reversals in mind. It's just like you can't really make the mark unless you have a lead there, right?
Yeah.
To make those moments matter that much more. So we get in the beginning of this game, it's something along the lines of like playing like a Zomba or Josh did, where it's like running in there and finding a hit immediately, going for a grab, gotta get crazy.
Yeah.
We gotta get evasive. We gotta mix it up.
Yeah, over-reliance on setups like that is kind of where you start falling behind, because you're looking for these specific kind of niche interactions to happen. And Mr. E, again, not letting it happen whatsoever. Pharaoh getting that down throw, but not getting much damage off of it. Definitely needs to rely on some straight hits. That down tilt is going to be a really good tool, not only the pressure shield, but just to keep Mr. E at bay. Maybe we could see a little bit more of that, but trying to extend on his combo, not much. Still solid percentages from both of these players. Mr. E trying to go for the forward smash, not connecting it once again, but Pharaoh drifting back and forth, bobbing and weaving across Mr. E.
Egg tossing out again. That's looking to make some space here. Nice finding that grab, catching Mr. E, getting over aggressive with that back air. We're going to catch him at ledge once more. Try covering that roll range with the up tilt. Now forcing Mr. E to play in the corner. And the Yoshi is looking to find an aerial. The guy's going to catch him again with that grab. Now Pharaoh playing outside of that immediate range, utilizing the tools that you have, forcing Mr. E to get over aggressive, jump in, and then take advantage when you can do so. Fortunately, going to give him that air dodging in, going high for recovery, and immediately dropping back down to avoid the back airs. These are the mix-up we need to see. We need to force Mr. E to jump out of his comfort zone. Once you get him out of there, then you can start playing Yoshi.
Right. I think I want to see Pharaoh try and play a little bit more of a grounded game against Mr. E. I mean, when he's good back there, not going to kill just yet. But when Mr. E gets sent upwards, it feels like Pharaoh's trying to meet up with a juggle, meet up with an up air, finally gets it that time. But Mr. E's just avoiding everything, going for this jump, going for a fast fall air dodge, neutral air dodge, and just escaping everything that Pharaoh wants to go for. Gets a dash attack. Mr. E sends Pharaoh off stage, but finally has this lead. What can he do with this is the real question. Not much. Gets hit with the up tilt.
Nice. Nair to try to pressure Mr. E out of shield, but unfortunately, Mr. E going to find that up tilt. They take the trade every day of the week. And now, Pharaoh recognizing that. Look, I gave him some advice earlier in the day. RJ, if you're watching the back, you know we're giving this advice to. You got to start camping. You take that lead, you got to play like a dork. Unfortunately, playing lame wins games. You're catching Mr. E trying to overextend and get back into his groove of his momentum. You got to force him out of that. You have the displacement tools as Yoshi. You have the grab. You have the egg lay. You have egg toss. To play around with him. Force him into weird positions. And then once he tries to get back into his momentum and his comfort zone, that's when you start playing Yoshi. That's when you find so much more damage. That's exactly what Pharaoh's doing right now. Catching him jump in there again with a nair. Not going to find that fadeaway forward air, but again, Pharaoh playing at the perfect range, forcing Mr. E to overextend.
Yeah, finally finding his footing in this match right now, but fortunately tripping up, getting hit with that jab lock, almost getting hit with that up air, but a really good neutral air dodge to come back onto stage. Pharaoh had it down, but now going to lose his positioning and going to lose that second stock against Mr. E, who's looking keen and prime to taking Pharaoh's tournament stock right now. We're going to down tilt. Not going to get much out of it. Doesn't want to overextend against Mr. E, who amazing recovery.
The unfortunate thing there is, like, while Pharaoh is playing outside of Mr. E's immediate range, Mr. E also has a couple options in the back to play out in that range, albeit Dancing Blade to catch him out there. Reckon, okay, you're gonna just sit there right there. I have the ability to boom, 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 get out of there.
Yeah.
Back up. And now that I have the lead, now it's on the other foot where Pharaoh has to aggress, and Mr. E is completely comfortable with that. Goes for his patented shield breaker from ledge. Hasn't found that all day, by the way. He's looking for it. I know he wants it. Mr. E, I've casted too many of your sets. I know you're looking for shield breaker from ledge. I love it. It's such a great option, but it's so funny whenever it lands.
Ooh, the dash attack off that ledge. Really good nair. The solid conversion, 41% dealt. Mr. E gonna get that grab as well. Pharaoh sent off stage once again. Has that jump. Amazing parries right there from Mr. E. Able to catch that spot dodge as well to the nair one back air.
Wow.
Mr. E with a swift 3-0. Just when you thought Pharaoh had it down, Mr. E just shuts it down completely.
Unfortunately, it's the way that setup goes. It's like you had the adaptations, but the adaptation relies on that specific adaptation he makes relies on your opponent sticking to the same script. You know, because like when you make an adaptation that relies on you going instead of like you turning it up more, like you toning it back and reacting to your opponent just be like, okay, I'll stop doing that now. Mr. E went from short hop fading away with the forward air, nair, and bears with the typical Lucina pressure to, okay, now you're going to play outside of my range. Now here comes Dancing Blade pressure. Using as like a pseudo cross slash a bit at the ledge.
Yeah.
And then he had to catching him, Pharaoh reacting to that with the nair cancel fast fall into a back air. It's Mr. E playing with that, being quick on the cuff of, okay, my advantage state isn't going to work here. Okay, I got a new advantage state. I've completely shuffled the cards here again.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you don't have the exact Yoshi tools to work that out just yet. And just like that, Mr. E made that work in spades and takes it 3-0 over Pharaoh. Unfortunate to see him go, but I mean, a great run regardless.
5th place at King.
Nothing to scoff at, definitely.
Exactly, yeah. Makes a seed, able to make some money courtesy of that prize pool. The very, very nice prize pot of $1,000 that we have courtesy of.
1,500 actually.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was total between dubs and,
Yeah,
1,000 singles, 500 dubs. That's the collision series, man.
That's a lot of money, though.
We love money, yes.
Some money. Anyway.
So also, fun fact, with Pharaoh dropping into the tournament, New Jersey's out.
Wow.
It's now, for this tournament, it's Philly and New York.
Ooh.
What's up, bro? What's going on, chat? I want to hear the Jersey heads. I want to hear it. I want no more of the disrespect. Philly showed up today. Stars went on his absolutely ludicrous losers run, and still going on right now as he faces off against Jen here in losers quarterfinals.
Josh at the
and Josh in winners finals. What's up, bro? What's up, guys?
Hey, they locked in. King is their tournament. I'm just saying.
What's going on, guys? Let's open the dialogue. How will this affect Philly's legacy? There are two things that are still real. Joel is still butt. Zamir is still a folder. But Josh in winners finals. Stars on a crazy losers run. Jersey nowhere to be seen. We're sitting in New Jersey. What happened? Zomba's still probably going to win this tournament. But like, does that matter? He's a world-class player. Let's talk about it. We'll come back to it later. It's okay. Yeah. Regardless, we've got our second. We've got Stars, like we mentioned, on his Cinderella run here today. Unfortunately, he had to take down the other Cinderella one, which is A9, who lost his round 1. But I mean, he definitely earned his ticket here into losers quarterfinals. And Jen on a great run of his own, popping